wasn't planning on filming a video today at all, but I just watched a video and I just wanted to kind of, I don't know, just sit down and talk with you guys for a second because it just weighed really heavily on my heart, something that I just wanted to say to you. So yeah, I guess I'm just gonna dive right in. So there are lots of really, really great homeschool channels here on YouTube. Like, there are so many that I've been watching for years, and the community has been incredible too. There's so many really supportive homeschool YouTubers out there that I have become friends with, like real genuine friends. And there's one channel that I really love that I've enjoyed for a really, really long time, and that's Ashley's channel, Grace and Grit. She has so much good information to share, and if you're probably already watching her channel, but if you're not, go check it out. I'll link it up above so you can go check it out. But anyway, she posted a video today that was all about our identities as homeschool moms. Like, where do we find our identity? Is it wrapped up in just being a homeschool mom, or, you know, are there other ways that we find our own personal identity? And I thought it was a really, really, really good video, like a really top-notch, high-quality video. And as I'm watching this video, I'm just like agreeing with everything that she's saying. Everything is so good. I mean, I think that as a homeschool mom, or even just as a mom in general, finding things and outlets that are important to us and not just letting our lives just be completely occupied by our children's lives and kind of like almost living vicariously through them, but finding ways to actually like fulfill ourselves and do things that we love or whatever it may be. I mean, it's going to be different for every single person. I think that's incredibly important. So if you're a mom with, you know, kids that are your homeschooling kids and you just kind of don't really know how to find your own identity, check out that video. I'll link it. It's really, really good. But as I was watching this video, as I was getting towards the end, all of a sudden, I kind of like went back in time and started thinking about what it was like for me 3 or 4 years ago, even earlier than that too. And I feel like if I had watched that video when I was in that stage of my life, the video would have been so incredibly hard for me to watch. Like, even just thinking about it right now, like I almost feel like I'm gonna cry, which I'm not gonna cry on YouTube. That's kind of weird. But like, I was not in a good place back then. Like, as far as who my identity was, who I was as a person, because as you may know, I had 5 kids in 8 years, exactly like 3 days shy of 8 years. And I had 3 miscarriages. I had special needs kids. I had postpartum depression. I had hyperemesis gravidarum. I was put on bed rest. I was hospitalized. Like, I had so many issues with my own pregnancies. I had a NICU baby. Like, I had a lot of difficulties kind of getting to the point where we are now. Now we have 5 kids, ages 4 through 12. It's easier. You know, it's easier than it was that many years ago. And if I had watched that video maybe when I was pregnant with Eric, he's our youngest, so like 5 years ago, it would have really, really put me in a bad place. Because I was doing my best. I was really, really doing my best. I was doing the best that I could for myself and the best that I could for my children and my husband and my family, but I didn't have that much to give. And I didn't have an outlet. I didn't necessarily have the thing that I did that, you know, made my identity for myself. At that time, my identity was the fact that I was a mom with a lot of little kids, and some of them were high needs, and they really needed me. My 4-year-old, he's 4.5, still does not always sleep through the night. He has always been a high needs little kid. He's the sweetest kid in the whole world. He's just high needs. Like, he just needs his mom. He needs a lot of attention. He needs a lot of input. I think he's very bright and just kind of like needs a lot of stimulus. And he's never really slept well. And so for me, rather than choosing, you know, something to do or something to talk about that would have helped me form that identity, I was just tired. And at the end of the day, I would rather watch episodes of The Office on Netflix than read a book for myself, or crochet, or do watercolor, or the things that I enjoyed, or even going out with friends. Because especially in those days when I had postpartum depression, and I was homeschooling through all of this. I mean, let me think. I started homeschooling when David was 7? 6. Was he 6 or 7? Whatever it was. And so at that point, I was, Eric was going to be on the way in the next year or so. And so, yeah, I was just in the trenches of it all. I was dealing with special needs kids who we're still trying to figure out, what all that was. And I was homeschooling in the middle of all this while completely sick. I threw up my entire pregnancies. I mean, those were hard days, and there wasn't time for me or energy. There may have been time, but I didn't have the energy to try to figure out a way to kind of find fulfillment that was just for myself. So I'm saying all this for the mom out there who's watching this video and who may have watched the other video, which I'm not trying to say anything bad about it because I really think it was a really, really good video. But just for the mom who, at this stage of their life, can't do all of those things, who honestly doesn't even really get out of the house that much and spend time with friends because you've got little kids at home and you're nursing a baby and maybe you have special needs kids. I mean, there's so many things that could be going on that for you, especially if you're an introvert like me, getting out of the house and doing those things would end up being more exhausting. It would not bring anything good into your life. You would end up going home being exhausted. You would end up going home and thinking, I could have used that time for something else. I could have just been resting. I could have just been spending time with my husband. So this is not in any way, shape, or form. I just want to be really clear about that. To say anything bad about Ashley's video, I think it was really good. I really honestly do. This is not that at all. This is just me kind of coming from a different viewpoint depending on the stage of life that you're in. Because having an identity as a human being is important. I think that we all need to find our peace wherever we are. And if that means for you right now, your main job, basically your ministry of your life, your vocation is to be a mother, I really think that's okay. I think, yes, it's wonderful to find things that you enjoy doing and, to get out and see your friends and have hobbies and read and watch movies that you enjoy or anything like that. Those things are all good and important and wonderful things to do. But if you are at the point where you just don't have that much left to give and you don't really even feel the need for it, if you're content where you are, if you are okay with the stage that you're in, then let yourself be at peace with it. Honestly, I tell my friends all the time that silly phrase that you do you. I think that you do you, that mindset, is so important because it doesn't put us in a position where we are judging other people. I think that if you can just concentrate on yourself and your needs and what's best for you and your family and your loved ones and all that, that's the best thing that you can do. You can't put yourself in a position where you are trying to compare yourself and be that way because that way works for a good number of people. Just because it works for them doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. And it definitely wouldn't have worked for me back then. Now that my kids are older and more independent, I am able to have my interests and my hobbies. I do YouTube. I mean, I definitely have the things that I enjoy doing because I am not as needed, I guess, at least, as far as like nursing and all those kinds of things. But I still feel like a large part of my identity is being a homeschool mom. And that's fulfilling for me. That is so incredibly fulfilling. I don't think it is the most important thing about me, but I think it's incredibly important. And being a homeschool mom has shaped me to become the woman that I am today. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect at all. I'm kind of a mess a lot of the time. I have a temper. I have lots and lots of flaws. But I love my kids and I love being with my kids so much. And I'm okay with that. Like, I'm really honestly okay with that being a very large part of my world. All that to say, I don't disagree with anything that she said because I really don't. I just want to be clear about that. But I just think that for some of us, there are stages in our life where hearing that information, I don't want to say it can be hurtful because I don't think it's hurtful, but I think it's just hard. I think it's just hard to hear it because you are not at a point in your life where you can be that person. You just can't be that person. And you just need to be at peace with who you are because oh my goodness, for years, I compared myself to other people, and I was miserable. I was so incredibly, I didn't want to cry. I was so incredibly miserable. Just feeling like I couldn't do all those things, and I couldn't be that person who has those hobbies and does those things and gets out of the house and sees their friends, because I couldn't. And there were weeks, I'm not even exaggerating, weeks where I didn't leave my house because it was just too hard. Sorry, I didn't expect to cry. Talking about it now, like, it just brings back all of this stuff. And I wanted to sit down and make this video just to say to any of you moms out there who felt the way I felt all those years, who felt like you were inadequate and you weren't enough. You're enough. Life is hard and you have a lot on your plate, and you just have to do what you can do and not feel pressured from other people to be a certain way and to have a certain different identity from the person that you are in that moment, because that's the best that you can do. So this turned out to be way more raw video than I would have expected, or maybe ever would have thought I'd put out on YouTube, but I don't know. I just feel like it needs to be said, and I feel like we all just need to do the best with where we are in life. And if this was encouraging to you, thanks for sticking through and watching it to the end. I really, really hope it helped. And yeah, leave me a comment below and let me know, if you're in this stage of life, how you're doing. I'd love to chat with you. And, if you're not in that stage and you want some really awesome encouragement, please go check out her video. I'll have it in the description box below. It's really good. So yeah, that's it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and have a great day.